Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day to start things off. Unlike a majority of traditional financial institutions, Nasdaq, the world's second largest stock exchange by market cap, has taken a friendly approach when it comes to crypto assets, taking a series of measures to seemingly prepare for the arrival of the next groundbreaking technology, blockchain, and similar decentralized systems. As reported by Ethereum World News on multiple occasions, the firm has overtly shown interest in offering a crypto-focused exchange service, with Nasdaq CEO Adena Friedman telling CNBC that she believes crypto will continue to persist and that it would be logical for her firm establish such a service. Friedman elaborated, saying, "Certainly Nasdaq would consider becoming a crypto exchange over time. If we do look at it and say it's time, people are ready for a more regulated market, for something that's providing a fair experience for investors. I believe that digital currencies will continue to persist. It's just a matter of how long it will take for that space to mature," end quote. But as alluded in the above statement from Nasdaq CEO, for now, it seems that this move is still a few years away. Regardless, the forward-thinking institution still seems to be poised to make a small yet meaningful foray into this budding industry. According to insiders of the New York-based firm, the world-renowned stock exchange has begun to work on offering tools, services, and products that will allow investors to predict the future price action of the crypto market, as per a CoinDesk exclusive. Elaborating on the exact details, the source noted that analytics would be likely available for upwards of 500 cryptocurrencies and will analyze the flow of crypto assets from wallet to wallet, exchange pertinent data, and social media sentiment and discussion. The individuals who was privy to the company's plans went on to reveal that the product will likely be added to Nasdaq's Analytic Hub, which utilizes machine learning and natural language processing, or NLP, methods to sweep through social media and alternative data sources to give interested investors an insight into the inner workings of publicly traded markets. That is going to be something absolutely incredible. I'm very glad one, that Nasdaq continues to come forward and say that they actually are interested in getting into the space. We had news that the New York Stock Exchange was interested in getting into crypto. And then we had news that Nasdaq was also going to be getting into crypto. And a lot of people were like, we don't know if that's true. We don't have any real information about it. And I am very glad that many institutions are no longer afraid to announce that they are touching blockchain, and more so that they are actually into the cryptocurrency space. It is very important, at least for if you are thinking 10, 15, 20 years price-wise long-term, that these institutions get into the market. And the fact that they are trying to or going to be creating something that will allow people to predict the price of cryptocurrencies is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. Potentially in 2 or 3 years, once they've worked out all the kinks, or it's about more smoothed out, and we have a lot more, rather AI has become stronger. I wonder exactly how these things will function, especially when we already have a whole bunch of bots and stuff like that that aim to predict price movements, and not only crypto but also in the stock market. Going to be a very interesting future for all of us, but I am very glad that Nasdaq has, like I said, once again shown that they are not afraid, that they plan on getting into the cryptocurrency space. Next up, we spoke about the real estate and crypto before, and this is pretty much exactly what I was talking about. Decentralized cryptocurrency trading platform AirSwap has announced a new partnership designed to aid in the tokenization of one of the Western Hemisphere's most expensive real estate markets. That partnership, inked with FINRA registered broker-dealer Propeller, will see two firms use AirSwap's peer-to-peer trading protocol to create a platform that allows brokers and their clients to tokenize securities and trade these crypto tokens in a manner that complies with security regulations. AirSwap and Propel will initially focus their efforts on the New York real estate market, though details on how they aim to achieve this still remain slim. Though often labeled as a decentralized crypto exchange or a DEX, AirSwap does not quite fit this designation, since it serves more like a decentralized search engine that helps buyers and sellers arrange trades over a peer-to-peer protocol. In a statement, AirSwap highlighted how this technology could benefit secondary market transactions. They said, "Ultimately, we hope to reduce the time to complete secondary market transactions of private securities from months to days, with the actual execution, clearing, and settlement taking place in a matter of minutes, with a non-custodial, no order book model. Our technology is far better positioned for the private securities market than alternatives that take custody, use order book matching engines, and wrongly assume that private securities will trade with the same frequency as publicly traded securities or cryptocurrencies, end quote. They aren't the only ones who believe that real estate, a notoriously illiquid capital class, will greatly benefit from tokenization. Recently, crowdfunding giant Indiegogo partnered with a broker-dealer to host its very first security token offering, or an STO, which we've also spoken about before, which aims to sell tokens that represent equity in a luxury resort in Aspen, Colorado. Separately, cryptocurrency startup Swarm has begun issuing tokens that represent equity and privately held companies such as stock trading platform Robinhood, helping make another class of secondary market securities more liquid. So what this basically comes down to, I told you guys before in I think the last video or the video before that about the tokenization of everything. And this is what we're starting to see right now. When they talk about stable coins and people using stable coins and stable coins potentially losing their value because they're pegged to the US dollar or some other type of fiat currency, the idea is to be able to start pegging them to real estate markets. And people in the comment section were saying yesterday or the day before, how are they going to do this? I think it's fairly easy as long as you can peg anything to everything. As long as you have some type of proper regulation with the SEC and the CFTC and FINRA, as long as this is all worked out with them, they're usually totally fine with it, especially if you label it under a security. This is why we're seeing a push towards STO, security token offerings. But the entire point of this is that, people are also asking, what happens if the asset gets destroyed? I don't think in any nearby future, unless I'm missing an alien invasion, that New York's real estate is going to become dismantled and or destroyed or crumble into rubble. So I don't really know how to answer what happens if it gets destroyed. What happens if anything gets destroyed? I guess that's the answer for that. But the point is, a lot of things are going to start trying to be pegged. We already have a couple of cryptocurrencies that are actually pegged directly to gold and silver. You don't hear that much about them because you typically don't hear that much about gold and silver in the cryptocurrency space at all, unless someone's talking about Bitcoin absorbing all of the value of gold and what have you. The point is that this is going to continue happening. I think it's very interesting that it's already starting to happen. I wonder what the first couple of places that are going to be. When we have a luxury resort in Aspen, I guess that kind of, leads us to, it's going to be some of the most expensive real estate in the entire world. And this is going to be another way that crypto is going to initiate the stock market 2.0, if you will, because not before in the old days, the olden times, if I wanted to buy a fraction of the Empire State Building, I think that's the Empire State Building, and you couldn't do it before, but if someone has tokenized it and they make it into, let's say, 100 billion shares of it, the value of the Empire State Building is probably not going down anytime soon. Real estate in New York already goes up by 12 to 15% every single year. And even should there be some type of substantial crash in value, the other years will have made up for it. So this is why a lot of people believe that eventually everything is going to be tokenized. Not everything as ones and zeros on a screen, but more so every single major asset will be able to be digitized, and you'll be able to own a portion of it. And this will kind of be like your new stock, if you will. This is why it's called Stock Market 2.0, because you'll be able to own a portion of everything. You'll be able to see the value of it rising, but on a blockchain, and it'll also be a digitized asset. It's all quite fascinating and very, very exciting to me. It leads me to wonder, what will I be able to own in the future? It's this is very interesting for people who are interested in owning real estate or major real estate. Imagine being able to own even just 1/1 billionth of the Empire State Building. It's going to be a fairly secure investment, especially as you go into the future. I don't know. I'm going to move on from this topic. I feel like I need a dedicated video for this because I just absolutely I love real estate, and I love the idea of tokenizing assets so that multiple people around the world can own them, because I think one of the biggest things right now is that so many people don't have access to be able to have fractions of assets that could potentially rise in value in the future. This is why I think cryptocurrency is very important, because it can be fractioned. I think fractioned. Yeah, fraction sounds better. You can dice it up into fractions and give it to different people, and they can still make a profit from the fractions of the cryptocurrencies that they have. I think it's incredibly great, and I hope that this is how the financial market continues to evolve. Vitalik Buterin is in the news. There is no chance that the cryptocurrency and blockchain space will see 1,000 times growth. Again, This is said by Vitalik who is the co-founder of Ethereum, in an interview with Bloomberg. At an Ethereum and blockchain conference in Hong Kong, Buterin told Bloomberg that the rapid growth of crypto and blockchain industry is now reaching a ceiling and is moving from just people being interested to the stage of real applications of real economic activity. Buterin explained that the period of explosive growth in the sphere is likely coming to an end because the level of superficial awareness about the industry has significantly grown and is likely to plateau. He said, if you talk to the average educated person at this point, they probably have heard of blockchain at least once. There isn't an opportunity for yet another 1,000 times growth in anything in the space anymore, end quote. According to Buterin, the initial strategy seen over the past 6 or 7 years in the crypto space, based on marketing coins with the goal of widespread adoption, has resulted in massive growth, price, and market capitalization of many cryptocurrencies, but that is now getting close to hitting a dead end. Crypto markets have seen a dramatic rise, or decline, my lord, in terms of total market cap for all of cryptocurrencies throughout 2018. And January total market cap of the cryptocurrencies hit $828 billion. We were very close to scratching the surface of $1 trillion, but that did not happen. Without reading any more, Vitalik Buterin is... I feel like sometimes he says things that he shouldn't be saying. Ethereum is already not doing well. He's also said a couple of other things, not even just this. He's been speaking out openly for the past couple of months now, getting into fights with people on Twitter. I think it has to do with like frustration of maybe where the market is going, maybe the price of Ethereum, maybe the lack of updates that we still don't have if we even promised them 2 years ago. To be an industry leader and to state that the space that you are working in, the space that you help to create when you have the number 2 coin in the cryptocurrency, whatever, that will never see a 1,000 times growth again. I feel like if that's true, you maybe want to keep that to yourself. This is kind of how I feel about it. Not even, I hate the term FUD, not even that he's spreading FUD or spreading misinformation. I can see it. Like I can see a world where Bitcoin maybe does like 100x. Like I can see Bitcoin hitting, 700,000, maybe not 7 million, maybe even not 100 million like we've heard before from a lot of other people. I can definitely see that. But you don't really instill confidence in the market when you are a market leader and the number 2 coin, and you tell people that the times of large-scale growth are no longer available, especially, which is kind of weird because realistically, when you look at the numbers or the statistics of the people who are actually in the cryptocurrency space, it's estimated that there are anywhere between 25 to around 50 million, that's million with an M, people in the world right now who are actually into cryptocurrencies. And it's predicted that within the next 5 to 7 years that we're going to see 1 billion with a B people in the cryptocurrency space, which then leads me to believe, or one logically to think, that crypto still has a large amount of space for growth. Even when it comes to normal prices, I think fairly honestly, I think somewhere around a 20, even 30x growth between now and the end of 2019 is definitely possible. Like I think we all live in a world right now where I think certain coins could, like Ethereum, for instance, it's like 170 or something like that. I could definitely see it hitting 1,700 or maybe even 3,400 or possibly even 5,000 over the course of like a next 18, 19, 20 month period. I don't know. Maybe he's just so intelligent that a lot of people don't understand exactly what he's saying. Like I get the 1,000 times growth, but I think you also have to. I mean, I don't own a crypto. I didn't create one. I don't create blockchain. So maybe he sees something that we all don't. But he's been saying a couple of really interesting things in the last couple of weeks. And I mean, I just wish him all the best. I hope the stress isn't really getting to him because of everything that's been happening with Ethereum and all the people who have been coming forward and talking about Ethereum over the last couple of weeks. Here's a very, very, very interesting one. The International Monetary Fund, or the IMF, has warned the Republic of Marshall Islands, or the RMI, about the risks of adopting a cryptocurrency as a second legal tender, according to an official press release on the 10th of September. In the report, the U.S.-based agency backed by the United Nations addressed the government of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, stating that the introduction of digital currency as an official form of legal tender will pose risks to the country's financial integrity as well as relationships with foreign banks. By adopting digital currency as a second official currency after the US dollar, the Bank of Marshall Islands, or the BOIOMI, the only local commercial bank of the country, will elevate the risk of losing the last US dollar correspondent banking relationship, or the CBR, as a result of heightened diligence by banks in the US, the statement says. Since the Marshall Islands are highly dependent on receiving and spending U.S. grants, the IMF states that the loss of important banking relationships could harm the country's economy. Moreover, the IMF believes that the cost of adopting cryptocurrency, such as the development and enforcement of anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism policies, are considerably smaller than any potential financial gains. They said the potential benefits from revenue gains appear considerably smaller than the potential costs arising from economic, reputational, anti-money laundering, CFT, and governance risks. In the absence of adequate measures to mitigate them, the authorities should seriously reconsider the issuance of the digital currency as legal tender, end quote. The IMF urged Marshallese authorities to reconsider issuing a digital currency until the government is able to provide and implement strong policy frameworks in regards to economic, reputational, AML, CFT, and governance risks. I hope you all read between the lines. They don't want this. I told you, we are so far ahead in the cryptocurrency space, and it's actually really interesting, at least to me, that we now have countries, even if they are going to be launching their own central bank digital currency, or this is going to be the fact that they are still trying to issue a digital currency or a cryptocurrency as a secondary option to the US dollar. And then we have a US-backed agency backed by the United Nations talking to them directly, saying, don't do this or there will be problems. You will face financial integrity, and you may face something negative when it comes to the relationship with foreign banks. Listen to how that sounds. If you not even read between the lines, just actually read the actual words. This is happening already, and once again, I'm very shocked at how quick the space is moving. I haven't read the exact details of what the Marshall Islands is actually planning on doing, but we already have at least, I think, 7 other countries around the world who have announced that they're either creating their own cryptocurrency, they plan on doing it, they have it in the works, or that within the next 2 years, they're working out the framework to be able to start having it out there so that other people around the world, not other people around the world, people within their country or whatever can start adopting it. Quite interesting when you not receive threats. I guess when you receive, I couldn't think of a nicer way to say that. This is going to continue happening. I told you before that when we have had other discussions and moments where the US was discussing the potential future of cryptocurrencies, they were constantly asking, does this pose a threat to us? And I guess it does. It's going to be the reason why things have taken so long in regards to laws in the United States. It's just me speculating. Normally, I always say things don't take that long in order to dish out a law, especially, I think we also had something, I don't think I have it in here. Something happened in New York where a head judge said, his word is law, that apparently all ICOs within the states can be put under the securities law. Like, it takes a minute and a half to say that. Like, they already know what they planned on doing. We've heard this for a couple of months now. Point is, I'm expecting more news like this to start popping up over the next couple of months. Should we have, once again, some type of major economic and or financial crash, I think we're definitely going to be hearing a lot about more countries who are looking into adopting and or creating their own digital currency, and things are going to get very, 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 very interesting very, very fast. Ethereum is in the news once again. Over the past few months, investors of Ethereum, the native currency of the ever so popular Ethereum project, have had to fight off bears at every turn as the asset has been battered by negative news and wavering sentiment on a daily basis. Although significant progress is being made for the project, Ethereum has recently plunged to establish a new year-to-date low under $200. As with any trending topic, the demise of Ethereum has been a topic of thorough discussion with cryptocurrency analysts, investors, and traders alike, even in the furthest edges of the crypto industry. Everyone and their dog had something to say about Ethereum's violent decline, with many taking to social media platforms to express their 2 cents on the matter. While there was a large presence of contrasting emotional-based opinions, there were a few gems that brought logic and reason to the decline of the price of Ethereum. One of these notable gems was an insightful tidbit of data from cryptocurrency researcher Kevin Rook, whose work with News BTC covered just recently. On Monday, Rook continued to show his analysis prowess via a tweet, alluding to the relationship between Ethereum's price and ICOs, with their relationship being touted as a primary reason why Ethereum has tanked as of late. Here is a little chart. Not going to read through that, but I will say what he said. He says ICOs have spent over $30 million worth of Ethereum this week alone. That is 153,000 ETH. This is more than any week since March 2018. The scary part, these ICOs still have over $600 million worth of Ether in their treasury, in their accounts. That is 3 million plus Ethereum that these ICOs are holding. He says, will they sell or will they continue to hold? As per data from Sentiment, a leading crypto analyst provider, compiled by the researcher, ICOs have spent over $30 million worth of raised Ethereum in the past week, or 153,000 Ethereum to be exact. Although spent has multiple meanings in the context of blockchain-based assets, it can be assumed that a majority of the 153,000 Ethereum was sold on spot markets exchanges so that projects could secure fiat for their war chest. I told you guys this before. One of the things that happened last year that a lot of people didn't come to realize, and a couple of people did, is they were saying that every single thing that's being built on top of Ethereum at some point won't be built on top of it. They all planned on, falling off the tree and trying to grow their own little tree, continuing to grow their own blockchain. But what is going to happen is when you build on top of Ethereum, you're also funded in Ethereum. Someone was like, what's going to happen in a year when all these things actually launch and they're holding millions of Ethereum? And people were like, they're not going to sell. Ethereum is far too valuable, especially as the price of Ethereum went from $8 to $1,300 over the course of 2017. People were like, it's completely illogical that anybody would sell all of their Ethereum. Lo and behold, apparently since the beginning of this year, and other blockchain projects have been launching and falling off of Ethereum and creating their own blockchain. They've been constantly selling, and this apparently has been part of the main reason why the price of Ethereum is continuing to go down. While the sale of 153,000 Ethereum was likely not the sole reason why the market fell by 20% in the past 7 days, it would be logical to assume that the so-called ICO sell-off took somewhat of a part in this bout of capitulation. However, as Rook added, that's still a scary part, as ICOs still have over $600 million worth of Ether, 3 million Ethereum in their treasuries, leading some to ask if these firms will sell or hold their crypto assets. This claim mirrors a similar comment made by Alex Kruger, a well-known cryptocurrency commenter, a few weeks back. In a tweet, he said on the 23rd of August, according to Sentiment's feed, ICOs for which their Ethereum wallets are known have a visible balance of 3.3 million Ethereum, or $900 million at the current price. 135 Ethereum were transferred out, spent in the last 30 days, about 4%. However, some claim that there are other catalysts behind Ethereum's dismal performance over the past few weeks. Nouriel Roubini, a professor at New York Stern School of Business and a well-known economist, recently issued a tweet to claim that there is no wonder that Ethereum is collapsing. We spoke about that yesterday. He was talking, pretty much what it comes down to is that Ethereum is becoming an ICO graveyard. As ICOs were built on top of the Ethereum platform, people are moving away from ICOs because it's not a great way to fund money. People are moving towards the STOs, but no one's building STOs on top of Ethereum, as Ethereum is an ICO smart contract platform. So what we have now is that as Ethereum continues to be slow and no updates have been built on top of it, and ICOs are slowly moving away from the point of, or one of the major points that Ethereum was claiming that it was actually there for, this is part of a huge sell-off. The problem is that if this sell-off of, or spending of $30 million worth of Ethereum more or less pushed it, even if it didn't push it the entire 20% down, even if it did around 10-15%, that is still a huge problem, because 30 million is nothing compared to $600 million. Another issue is that if they sell all this, Ethereum's price will probably go back down to $1. And that is not me joking. That is mathematical. If you have that much selling pressure and you have it at market, not even if you do it, not even if you try to match an actual price on the market, if you do it at market value, meaning whatever the market says at that moment, your sell orders will continue to gobble this up. That is going to be a problem. Ethereum price will collapse. The issue is that what we spoke about in a couple other videos. For some reason, crypto exchanges are still stuck in 2014, and the only coins that really have not even fiat pairings to them are constantly Bitcoin and Ethereum. So when Bitcoin moves up, the market also moves up. And now, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, sometimes Bitcoin won't even move by 1% and Ethereum falls by 14%. And the rest of the market also falls by 14% because everything is pegged to the price of Ethereum. So should they decide to be jerks, is the nicest way to say this, and they decide to sell off 3 million Ethereum at the exact same time, this will crumble and decimate the cryptocurrency market. Like I said, that is not me over exaggerating. That is pure math. If you can drop the price of ETH even over the, let's say, last 4, 5, 6 weeks, if you look at the price of Ethereum when the entire cryptocurrency market has gone, because the price of Ethereum has just been declining, and this is just what we know about. This is the other people. These are the people who have the actual ICOs, and not even the other people around the world who have seen the price of Ethereum declining, have read the negative news, and have also decided to sell off their own coins. That's also price suppression. Imagine what happens if $600 million worth of Ethereum is sold so that people can buy up their own coins. Because realistically, if I made Omise Go, if I made EOS, if I made Tron, if I made anything else that was built on top of Ethereum, I would probably logically sell around my $70 million that I had raised from my ICO. Especially, I think, what is it? The people from, what's it called? EOS have, I think, like $4 billion in funding or something like that. So they hold a huge portion of this as well. I would have sold all of that immediately to buy up my coin, to push my coin's price up, to be able to crash Ethereum to get my coin towards the number 2 spot. Who's to say that all these people aren't collaborating together? We know that I said this before, all these people know each other. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. Maybe they did it enough to push down the price of Ethereum because ultimately they actually do believe in Ethereum. Maybe they're not trying to. Maybe it's like a Charlie Lee Bitcoin type situation where they are okay being the, in the number 2 spot, or not, being behind Ethereum, as they believe that Ethereum will be the ultimate winner. The problem is no one knows. That's the entire problem. It's genius in its own way. It's almost like parasites that will completely eat you from the inside out, and this is exactly what they're able to do at this moment. No one knows exactly what's going to continue happening to the price of Ethereum. I don't think the prices are, they're up here. Ethereum is exactly at 170. If you look at CoinMarketCap, I think it's like the lowest percentage down, at least at the moment of me making this video. No one knows what's going to happen. I am very sad for the Ethereum project. It had such a bright future. That's not me counting it out, but like I said, I don't think Plasma or Casper is going to happen by the end of 2018, even the first 3 months of 2019. At that point, something else is going to have taken over its position, but that's how the crypto crumbles. I don't know how else to say that. All right, everyone. That's definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Didn't mean to make it too gloomy and doomy, but that is just kind of the news for today. That's exactly where we are in the cryptocurrency space. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, and or evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for watching and or listening. I do appreciate all the support more than you can begin to imagine, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.